Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about, is my ex too ashamed to take me back?
This is going to be an interesting one. But before we begin, I did want to say that Craig and I are available for one-on-one sessions. So if you would like to talk about your situation with us personally, you can go to our website and book a session through there.
Absolutely. That's the only way to get a coaching with us. We're never going to message you on Instagram. We're never going to send you some WhatsApp message, or there's lots of scammers out there. The only way to do it is through the website, okay? I've seen people get scammed by fake Instagram accounts.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Yeah.
We won't ever try and contact you like that. Only through the website. All right. So, obviously, breakups can be so difficult for so many reasons. But one of the things that we do see is the ex having to deal with the challenges that come with breaking up with somebody else's opinions. Their family and friends' opinions about the situation are going to impact them. Now, how much impact? That depends upon how individuated the person is, how healthy they are, how much perspective they can see for themselves. But opinions of other people are going to have an impact on whether or not they come back. So in this video, we're going to talk about shame.
Yeah, and shame is often shaped by family, by friends, by culture, by society. So there's so many different influences that can make you feel like you're not doing what you should be, or you're not doing the right thing or making the right decision. And shame can also be something that's covert or overt. So it can be something that's more hidden, or it can be something that's blatant. You can have a family member directly say to you, I don't think that you should be getting back with him or her. Or it can be more of a look. Maybe it's a look that their mother gives them of, are you going to go back with so-and-so,
Give me a better look than that. I want to be like, I want real, what? Okay, that's better.
What? So it can be something that's more hidden too. And it can also be passive aggressiveness from families and friends.
Give me the cultural look.
The cultural look?
Yeah, we won't say which religion, but the cultural look that mom doesn't want you dating that woman. Give me that one. I think it's more.
And in Italian, it might be like this. So there's so many different influences that can make an ex feel shameful for coming back. And this is what we really want to talk about today.
Yep.
Because many of you might think, are they too ashamed that they won't come back? Will that affect my chances so much that they're not going to want this relationship to work again?
We don't live in a bubble on an isolated island. There are people that are going to influence with opinions and thoughts and stuff like that. So yes, it's going to happen.
And a lot of times growing up in certain families, you start to internalize that shame. So for example, it might be with dating a different race or dating outside of your race. You might feel really connected and really love someone that's outside of your race, but you're having this internal sense of, something doesn't sit right because I've been told all my life that this is wrong.
And your mom keeps telling you every time she knows you're taking that woman out.
Yeah, or it's comments, like maybe it will be othering, those people over there, or their family, their situation. So sometimes it will not be so direct, sometimes it is direct, and really it builds up to this feeling of, my decision to get back with an ex isn't right, or there's something off here.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's something that, they're going to have to deal with in a lot of situations. They may feel like, your ex may feel like they have to defend themselves to their family and friends, that they say, I want to repair it, or they're afraid to tell them because they know all of the criticisms and the critiques and the opinions they're going to have to hear, and it's going to be overwhelming, and it's going to really frustrate them that they feel like they can't do what they necessarily want to do.
Right. And there can also be this undertone that others will think that they're weak. Others will think that they're insecure for going back to an ex, or desperate, or codependent. So there can be a lot of social shame too that's attached to going back to an ex. Even when none of those things might be true at all. They could be going back to that ex because they did have a solid relationship, because there was a strong foundation there. So it's just our ideas. And you'll even see it in the comments to our videos. You know, an ex is an ex for a reason. We have a lot of people who really don't like the idea of getting back with an ex. Maybe they've had their own negative experiences that are causing them to act like that. Reality is, people get back with their ex all the time. I've known people in my own personal life who have broken up 3 times and are happily married now.
Yeah.
So
one of my good friends broke up with his wife and when they were like younger, and they've been married for like 30 years now, and they're happy. So yeah.
So there's a lot of shame that's attached to it that isn't necessarily justified all the time. One thing that does complicate the situation a bit more is when a big mistake has been made. So let's say you were unfaithful to your partner.
Or maybe you were like abusive in some way. There was a physical fight or an incident. Those happen a lot.
Right. So there is a level of shame in going back to a partner who hurt you and that hurt was made public, or that mistake was made public.
Yes.
And on one hand, you know, I could see how it's a protective thing. It's your friends and family saying, I've seen how you've been hurt in this relationship. We don't want you to get hurt again. This is why, you know, we're in essence shaming you. You know, we're in essence trying to protect you from getting back into this situation, and it can come off as shameful.
And one of the things that you should think about is, what if somebody had done that thing to you? How would your friends and family react? What would they say to you if somebody did those things to you? Like, say there was a physical incident where somebody got violent or something, like a pushing match or a shoving match or something like that, or worse, and you know they had done something to you. What would you expect them to say? Well, don't be surprised if their friends and family are telling them the same thing.
Right. And in those situations, you know, it is up to your ex to decide whether they do want to repair that relationship or not. If things got physically violent, you know, they do have to protect themselves and they do have to protect their mental health. So keep that in mind. And we wouldn't advise anybody who's in an abusive relationship to go back to it. We just wouldn't.
No.
You know, so we have to be ethical about that. And, you know, as far as what you can do is owning up to your behavior and addressing all the parties that were involved. You know, if you did have an altercation with your ex's family members and are trying to repair a relationship with your ex, but you fought with their cousin, you know, it's going to make things really awkward, especially during Thanksgiving when you're all together in the same place.
Yeah.
You know, so make amends where you need to and tie up those loose ends. Of course, not everything is going to be seamless, and we are not saying to reach out during a breakup. I knew you were going to say that. I could see it in your eye.
I could feel the panic as everybody was about to stop watching the video to reach out to their ex's family.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in the process of repairing, if the two of you have already decided, okay.
Your ex and you have to decide to move forward with it first. It has to be them saying, and they have to say, yes, I'm okay with you talking to my dad, my cousin, whoever. And that at that point, then you have to kind of own up to it and do your best to navigate it like a healthy adult.
Exactly.
But don't break contact to do it.
And what I'm saying is you don't want to have these loose ends untied forever or keep it into this awkward situation. It might be that you might have to set boundaries with family members and things like that, but that's only after the repair has started. So these are just different things that can complicate, you know, your ex's decision in coming back. They're going to factor all of these things in. Okay, so how much does it really impact you? We want to be honest with you, it really does impact your ex's decision. But as Craig was saying, it also depends on how individuated they are.
This is big.
Meaning, how much can they make their own decisions? How much can they truly stand up for themselves and what they want to do? You know, are they able to tell their family, I will be choosing something different than you want for me, because this is something that I want for me, a healthy choice that I want to make.
Yep.
And you also have to consider, are they coming back to a safe situation? Are they coming back to a healthy situation in the relationship? So this is really about you reflecting back and thinking about,
a good point.
You know, how you were as a partner to them.
That's
this
right.
is going to make a big difference too.
Yeah. And some of you are like, what if I was terrible? I mean, you can't ignore the consequences of reality.
Yeah.
And that's just the unfortunate thing of difficult situations, is if you mistreated somebody, yeah, they're not going to forget it. They're not going to just pretend it didn't happen. You know, sometimes they will, you know, think we can work through it and, you know, hopefully get past it. But they shouldn't ignore being mistreated, nor should anyone ignore it. You know, relationships should feel safe, emotionally and physically.
Yeah, exactly. They really need to be able to protect themselves and make the decision not because they feel guilted into it, not because they feel manipulated into it, and not because they feel ashamed maybe even by you that they're not getting back with you. You know?
Well, we have kids together and you're ruining our beautiful family. Meanwhile, you've been cheating on them for the last 10 years.
Yeah. So take everything into context. Consider, you know, all of these things that we're telling you. It may be relevant to your situation, it may not be. But as far as if your ex is feeling ashamed, it will depend on how much they can make their own decisions.
Yes. They are going to be impacted by friends and family. Who wouldn't be? If you were in, your friends and family are quite honestly telling you their opinions about your situation, right? I had a call today. Somebody who was, I think, our 4th call together and telling me about how his mom keeps telling him to do this and that. And, you know, he knows better, but he still takes some of her advice, which makes the situation worse, and he knows it. But, you know, friends and family are going to impact exes. That's the reality of it, and you can't ignore that. You just got to navigate it like an adult. And understand that ultimately it has to be your ex who's making the decision for themselves to repair things. They have to come to terms with it. They have to say, I may get some lashing out from my friends and family, or protesting, or anger, or hostility, but I'm going to weather that because I really believe we can turn this around. But pressuring them is not going to make them feel comfortable to do that. You have to be understanding and allowing them to take their time and have the space to decide that.
Exactly. And also think about when the relationship is repaired. You know, are they still holding on to that shame? Are they not? There might be a period of time where they're still trying to get used to what it's like to be back into a relationship, but also think you ultimately don't want to be kept a secret or don't want to be hidden. You know, if it's going to be, well, you know, yes, we can date, but none of my friends and family can know, and, you know, I don't want to really come out about this. It might be like that maybe for a little bit, depending on the situation, but just be mindful of that too. You know, they have to be in the state where they are willing and humble enough to want to repair things. So,
a lot to think about, consider, especially every situation is so unique and so different.
Yeah.
And so hopefully this has been helpful to you. And we are here and available for Skype and email coaching if you need be. We can help you assess your situation. It can be so confusing. Believe me, we understand. We see so many different types of breakups every single day. But I do email coaching and Skype, and Victoria is available for Skype coaching.
So whenever you'd like to chat, I'm here.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her, and we'll be happy to help you out in your situation. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.